Hi, I'm Jim and I'm a film director, with 2 feature film credits to my name. The first is the cult comedy horror Revenge of the Kid, and the second is Room 36.
Hello, I'm Jay, film editor and co-producer on PIEMAN. I've produced and edited a number of short films over the years, from documentary to horror.
A while ago I heard about a true story that took place in Tasmania in 1822, and it grabbed my attention.
He was just a boy when he took him away from me. And all he did was steal some shoes.
8 British convicts escaped from a hard labour camp and attempted to cross Tasmania by foot to sail back to Britain.
The men were absolutely desperate not to return to the brutal conditions of Sarah Island.
What they didn't realise was that Tasmania would yield no nourishment, so, faced with starvation, the first of their numbers was sacrificed to provide food.
Earlier this year, Jim came to me with this incredible true story and said he wanted to make it into a feature. I was hooked.
Desperate to learn more about this fascinating and harrowing tale, I began researching the story for this, my 3rd feature film, and found a terrific novel on the subject. It was so well written, I decided to adapt the novel and spoke with its author, Lyle Kloss.
To my delight, Jim Groom and the guys at Ivory Towers found my book, read it and approached me about using it as the basis for PIEMAN.
I still see him tied to that triangle and whipped constantly.
Our first draft screenplay was completed in May this year, and we looked to cast the 30-year-old Irish convict Alexander Pierce, looking to Hollywood for their best up-and-coming talent. We produced a shortlist and, after much deliberation, offered the role to Twilight Saga star actor Michael Welsh. He too was hooked and said yes.
My fellow students, right?
Good.
Right?
Cute.
We are the future. Anything is possible if you just believe.
Nice.
In November this year, myself and heads of departments of PIEMAN will travel to Tasmania to join with an Australian film unit to shoot for 4 weeks in the Tasmanian outback, which has remained largely unchanged since Pierce's escape.
We will also film for 1 week in the UK to show Alexander Pierce's early life before he was transported to Australia. It seems he had a happy life spent on the family's potato farm with his brothers and hard-working mother.
I should have understood. Hung him like some monster.
Though there has been an attempt to tell this story before, people's awareness of it is almost zero, even being dubbed Australia's darkest secret.
They haven't given those men the food, the grain. It was laced with ergo. Well, they wouldn't have been forced to do what they did. And knowing my poor Alex is enough to send anyone out of their mind.
Much research by our team has unearthed some interesting traits to these characters.
I know we shouldn't have tried to escape. But that cat o' nine tails lashing him with an inch. Caused the inch of his life.
We want to reveal to audiences how strong, sane human beings can be forced to commit barbaric acts for survival when pitted against nature.
We want this not only to be a well-crafted film, but also an accurate account of those true events, told as never before.
The camera format we have chosen is Technoscope, a 35mm widescreen film format that was used to good effect in virtually all the spaghetti westerns and countless other classic films. There are a few experts in this field, and we turn to one of Australia's leading pioneers of the format, Kelvin Crumpling.
I get an email from a Jim Groom at Pinewood asking me to read his latest feature script, PIEMAN, and would I consider DOPing. I've owned a lab for 23 years, I operated the lab, and I've also built the cameras that he wants to shoot the film on, which is the old Technoscope system from the 60s and 70s. Films such as Good, the Bad and the Ugly and Once Upon a Time in the West was shot on that.
An essential ingredient to the success of PIEMAN is its soundtrack, and we'll be employing the services of Scott Benzie, who composed and orchestrated my film, Room 36. The haunting yet dynamic music will highlight the visual aspect of PIEMAN, elevating the drama and playing on the emotional highs and lows. We'll be mixing PIEMAN in 7.1 surround sound, making for a truly cinematic experience.
The final budget for PIEMAN will be around £350,000, though more than half of this is being deferred until the film sells to a world market. The majority of that deferment is in the post-production, for myself and Jim operate a fully equipped film editing facility, Ivory Tower Entertainment, located within the UK's prestigious Pinewood Studios.
Once the film has been completed in the summer of 2016, we shall be attending all the major film markets to attach the best film distributors to secure a theatrical cinema release worldwide.
With Michael Walsh starring as Alexander Pierce, we will be inviting the world's press to follow us during filming and through all stages of production to generate a vast publicity campaign.
With a huge interest in the filmmaking process, we'll be rewarding our backers with a wonderful opportunity of becoming directly involved in the filmmaking process. Depending on the scale of the funding, we will encourage backers to become a large part of PIEMAN, and we hope its success will be the biggest reward in itself.
Oh, who knows what a man will do if it's driven by hunger?